మణికర్ణికతో సంచలనం సృష్టించారు కంగనా రనౌత్. మన తెలుగు ఇండస్ట్రీకి తను చాలా బాగా పరిచయం. ఇప్పుడు మణికర్ణికతో మళ్ళీ మన ముందుకు రాబోతున్నారు. దాంట్లో ఎలాంటి ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉంది? మణికర్ణిక అంటే క్వీన్ ఆఫ్ ఝాన్సీ లక్ష్మీబాయి మనందరికీ తెలిసిందే. అలాంటి ఒక హిస్టారికల్ మూవీని మన ముందుకి తీసుకొస్తున్నారు కంగనా రనౌత్. ఎలా ఫీల్ అవుతున్నారు తను? హౌ ఇస్ ఇట్ ఫీలింగ్?
Because Hyderabad is one of my favorite cities, and I was here a couple of weeks ago for a fashion show, and I'm back again, so very excited.
How is the response for that?
That's why I think it's my first film which is releasing in multiple languages across many countries, and to get this kind of a response for a trailer is amazing, and an action film for I think in India we've seen like a Bahubali as an action film, proper action film, but for a woman to be doing action this is going to be first time.
And not only this trailer, this is a historical movie.
Yes.
Not just, you cannot put any commercial values or any other elements in this. So how tough is this taking up this project?
Well, I think there is a lot of responsibility because people really respect and love Rani Lakshmibai, and there is a lot of a sense of ownership, like people own her story. So we had to keep the sentiments in mind, and because it's a person who's not alive, and you make a person who's alive their biopic, they can tell you any stories that I did this, then that happens, because the only person can object to that is the person involved. But when legally, when a story is in public domain, like Rani Lakshmi and the ones who are sort of before 100 years, anyone can object to it. And the whole country loves her so much and know her story. So we could not take any liberties, and we didn't want to. So we've remained very authentic with the story.
And not only your family, entire film fraternity is feeling proud about this project actually. So how did it feel for you?
Well, it feels fabulous, and my last two films didn't work, and I definitely would appreciate if this does well.
And what made you to do some directorial scenes, some in crucial parts? Is it true? And we heard that, but we don't know exactly.
Yes, it's true that it's my directorial debut as well. And well, it was accidental how I got here as a director. That was not the plan to begin with, but when I got to the job, I liked it, but initially it was very difficult for me to come to terms with the things, how things unfolded, and how Chris had to sort of, he was committed to the job that he's sort of doing now, and so it's been a bit unsettling in the beginning, but I'm okay with it now.
What made you feel necessary to learn sword fights and to put your career in risk and doing adventurous parts in this movie?
Yeah, well, Rani Lakshmibai's story has to be brought to the big screen. That was one very big aspect of it, and I mean, having that responsibility as people who are the new age makers is one of the responsibilities that I felt that we must fulfill, and sword fighting was a very crucial part of it.
And what are the other elements in this movie, what people can see? Because we all know about Jhansi Lakshmibai, so what are you going to portray in this movie?
Other aspects of the film are the story, the entirety of it, and the socio-political background of that time is another, if that's what you're asking, is another attraction of the film. And there are few more freedom fighters like Ghulam Ghaus Khan or Jalkri Bai or Tatya Tope. There are few more freedom fighters who are very popular historically, and they might just be very interesting to see their participation in the first freedom fight.
And everybody is looking up, I mean, they are comparing, not exactly comparing, but they are talking about Bahubali as well.
because after Bahubali, that fighting scenes, is it, comparable, or who done that adventurous parts and fighting scenes in your movie?
Well, Bahubal's magnitude is very big because it's a fantasy, and in a fantasy, the nature of fantasy is things that are beyond human capabilities. Here's a story of a biopic of a widow who happened to be, nearly at the receiving end of colonial brutality. So that is a very political and a real story. What we have as Rani Lakshmibai, what we have as Bahubali is a fantasy. So yes, because the writer is the same and his language is very very cinematic, very classic. So that could be the reason for comparison. But we are just very happy that we are being compared to the best.
And did you do any exercise for owning that skin of the character?
Did I do any exercise? I learned sword fight, and I learned battle skills, combat and riding and all of that. Okay.
Thank you so much. చూసారు కదా, కంగనా రనౌత్ మణికర్ణిక చాలా ప్రెస్టీజియస్ గా తీసుకున్నారు. ఈ అంటే అన్ని లాంగ్వేజెస్ లో ఫస్ట్ టైం తన మూవీ రిలీజ్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ యాక్సిడెంటల్ గా కొన్ని డైరెక్టోరియల్ సీన్స్ తను డైరెక్ట్ చేసినప్పటికీ తను అంటే ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ ద బెస్ట్, ఇక్కడ అన్ని లాంగ్వేజెస్ లో హిట్ అవుతుంది అని చెప్పి తను కోరుకుంటున్నారు.